Hey, welcome to the Tom Ferry Show. The most important question we were asked the last 3 or 4 weeks is, how do I pivot and actually do a listing presentation or a buyer consultation and do it virtually? In today's Tom Ferry Show, I'm going to give you behind the scenes access to our pivot training to watch one of our best clients and coaches do exactly that, a listing presentation done virtually. Enjoy.
If you look at how presenting affects closing, well, what is closing? Closing is nothing more than a natural ending to a great presentation. So, when I look at what we're going to be going over today, in my opinion, it's one of the most important pieces in today's market, or any market for that matter, any environment, for you to be able to crush it in terms of your business in real estate, right? The stronger your presentation, the more you're going to prospect to put yourself in a position to be able to present. The easier the close is ultimately going to be as well, too. And these two ladies that are on the call right now, right, have got it down to a science. Guys, right now is the time to be building up and to be going on these presentations for people that want to buy or want to sell right now, and those that are thinking about selling when the lights come back on and we're back to business as usual. So I am going to go through a series of questions with both Carolyn and with Eileen to answer, some of those fundamental pieces that I think all of us need to be able to be aware of, to have clarity on, to be able to crush it, and to be able to move forward on the listing presentation. So I'm going to go with question number one. Obviously, for all of us inside this ecosystem, Zoom is something we've been doing for 2 or 3 years. Carolyn and Eileen, for your client base, the people that you're doing virtual presentations with, it's not something that's common to them. How do you prepare them? How do you get them, like the process to get them on Zoom, to have them understand the technology? I know it's a basic question, but I think it's one that we need to answer. So what is your process to get someone who's never used Zoom before, or whatever it is that you're using, to be able to even attend the appointment?
So for me, it's basically when you're talking to people that are concerned about contact and what have you, and being face-to-face, which in our market, there still is some face-to-face, but I'm trying to do as much virtual as possible for benefit of all parties. But really, it's just, letting them know the benefit of the technology that we have to share. Our listing presentation with you is the same technology that we're going to have to share the exposure of your home to the buyers. So we just let them know, hey, we're high tech, and Zoom is something, we've been doing for a long time, and you can share your desktop and do the exact same presentation as if you were in person. So I really feel like you can do a very thorough job, and you're not leaving them short of anything by being in person.
Awesome, Carolyn. Eileen, how do you prep someone to use Zoom who's never used it before?
I find very little resistance, a lot less than I expected. I think that so many people of all ages are used to FaceTime on their phones now and things like that there's not a lot of resistance. If I have someone older, if there's a little bit of resistance, I just put them at ease. And one of the things I say is, oh my gosh, Bill, you're not going to believe it. I'm going to email you the link, and it's like flipping on the light switch. All you have to do is click, and we'll be there together.
Beautiful.
And they're like, oh, okay. And they do it, and it's not a problem.
Like in the past, a pre-listing package was something that we definitely pushed, your marketing proposal, et cetera. Eileen, I know you use one pretty effectively, and Carolyn, you don't. But so I'm gonna lean on you right now, Eileen. How important have you found that pre-listing package that you send out in advance is, and what's in it?
Well, my pre-listing packet now is, I look at everything that's a component of my pre-listing presentation, and I say to myself, what can they experience prior to our meeting that creates confidence and credibility for the consumer? So I have sent client testimonials. I've sent a video out in front of their house. I have sent, all the things that you and Tom and I have been talking about for years. I now pace that out, depending on the time available, 36, 48 hours prior to our actual meeting. I want to get on the Zoom call with the same credibility that I walk through the front door with. right? So, but this is a different time, so I have to do it differently. I think everyone should analyze what they do at the table and redesign how to pace that virtually, electronically, before they show up to the presentation. My goal on the Zoom call is to get a signature, right? Is to do the listing presentation, talk about price, handle objections, and talk about, okay, when are we going to market? If I don't set it up in advance, then we're going to spend 30 minutes chatting, and the D and me we don't have time. We have work to do. We have to help these sellers get their homes on the market. So everything that you have, what can you send ahead of time?
So line items, what are the 3 or 4 or 5 things that are going out?
A video confirming the appointment, a video in front of their property if it's possible. My most recent one I did in front of their property from inside my car even, right? And was specific about, oh my gosh, I love the pot with the pansies to the left of the front door. That's going to be charming in the photographs. Client testimonials, Zillow reviews, the video from the car, and then one that was the video that I did pre-marketing to agents.
Excellent.
Those 4 things went before we ever met on Zoom that night.
Awesome. So Carolyn, you don't use any type of pre-marketing that actually goes out in advance, and you're going on more expired listings than Eileen is, right? What are you doing to build that credibility in advance so that when you show up, it's not taking on the Zoom call, it's not taking, 2 hours or 3 hours for the presentation?
For me, I feel like when I talk to people on the phone is where I build my credibility. Usually if you can capture a great conversation with someone the first 60 seconds, that's where I have their attention. And for me, when I go on appointments, I'm just real good at directing conversation at business. And so that's what I've always done. Last year I went on like 160 listing appointments. So I go in, I'm usually in and out in an hour with a signed agreement 95% of the time. So that style just works for me. I used to try to do the pre-listing stuff, but for some people, having more credibility is maybe a great thing. I've been doing it for a while and I'm known in my area a little bit, but so I have never got involved with the pre-listing. So
pricing is obviously it's the one of the variables that concerns most agents when they go on a listing presentations. Where I notice in Sales Edge that people get the most nervous on a presentation is pricing. You can't see the house, you can't walk into the house, right? How are you guys handling being able to actually accurately evaluate price when you haven't been in the house?
You can have the clients, for one, if they just came off the market, there could be a lot of photos online already. But I usually get them to FaceTime me or take some photos and videos, tell me like some great things you've done to the house. So I can feel like that we've talked a lot about the condition of the house, and I can see, current FaceTime, current photos. I can give them some recommendations. And
awesome. Eileen, same question to you.
I've changed that up a little bit. So I was doing the video walkthrough initially as part of the same day we were doing the listing presentation in the Zoom. Now I have them walking through the house and sending it to me ahead of time. Number one, it allows me to look at the research again if I need to, because I'm not in a planned development community, right? Almost every home is unique. And it also allows me to direct the conversation when we get on Zoom and say, okay, the one purple bathroom that we just kind of went through real quickly in the video, can we go back to that when we're through today, right? So it allows me to study the video ahead of time. Number one, it's the art of conversion. I'm asking you to do something. You're doing it for me. Now we're discussing it together. We're in relationship.
Everyone's asking, how do they send the file over to you of the video of the house? Right? We got that about 6 or 7 times. So Carolyn, how are they getting the video? Eileen, how are they getting the video over to you? It's that question.
Yeah, and it's for me, most of the people that I have, if you do too long of a video, they can't send it, and it just creates too much complication. So most of the time, they either send me some short videos. Basically, I just need to see the inside of the house. And a lot of times I'll just walk through it FaceTime with them. And that way I can see the condition just as if I walked through it if I was there. So for me, the FaceTime works best. And then sometimes people just prefer to take a bunch of pictures and tell me about the house and send it, so long as I can see the inside. But keep in mind, I do a lot of expires, so their pictures are online from the previous listing too.
Beautiful. So you found FaceTime to be the best technology for that. Eileen?
I get the videos texted to me, like an older couple, one that we listed, they did a video for the downstairs and a video for the upstairs. Like they realized it was too long and they sent it to me. And again, it just gives us something, a shared experience and something to talk about.
Let's start there with how have you adjusted your marketing of what you do, your marketing proposal, based upon the changes in our ability to be able to actually market the property in traditional manners.
For me, I reiterate to people that the great thing is that we've always used and have had advanced technology put in place with virtual walkthroughs, videos, so that we're just emphasizing them more. So that's, it's no different than what we did before. It's just that more people are watching the videos and online shopping versus walking through the house.
Excellent. Same question back to you, Eileen.
Well, I'm really grateful that we already have a case study, right? So when you talk about marketing and that proof of, we listed a house 10 days ago, we promoted it on social media, we did, all the different things we've all been doing with marketing. Fortunately, the house was vacant, they'd already moved out. Long story short, I'm happy to post the facts later if you want me to, Bill. We wound up with 8 offers on that property, right? In the midst of all of this. So when you have that example to share, it addresses a lot of the marketing, kind of outside of the box stuff we're all doing.
You have a very, very solid and strong marketing proposal and marketing presentation. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you're doing that, like what it is and how you do that virtually? Because I know you have them laminated, and when you're in front of them, you put the laminated thing down and say, we're going to do this and we're going to do this. Can you take us through just sort of the key components of that and how you switch that over for the virtual presentation?
For me, if I have a Zoom listing appointment, I'm going to have on my desktop my listing presentation, which is now uploaded in the system and it's available for anybody that wants to get it. I just, print it when I go in person and have it all laminated. But so I have that. I have a link to their comps so that I'm able to talk about that. And then I have the zip forms link up and ready for the listing contract. So I can, of course, I'm going to try to get that signed when we get off too. And I will just I have all of them there. I can go over it, I can send it, I can present and have them signed, just, not much different if you were in person with them.
What are you guys saying about the market, right? What are you telling clients who ask, like what's going to happen, et cetera?
I'm relying a lot on facts, right? We were talking about that earlier. Nothing accelerates credibility like proof, right? So let's talk about the proof that's in the market. It accelerates your credibility as an expert. I think that the people on this call are going to convert and list easier than ever because a lot of our marketplace have been filled with hobbyists, right? With agents to do a couple of deals a year and they're happy and they're excited. We are pros. We know the data in our market. The data in my market for the last couple of years has been that there is a pent up demand for inventory. So part of that conversation with the consumer is, here's what I know, Bill. If we'd listed your house 4 months ago, based on the numbers you're talking about and what I see here, we would have had 20 offers. I want to prepare you. Now, we may only get 5, but imagine how serious and qualified those 5 buyers are that they're taking action in today's market, right? To know that and deliver that with confidence at the listing presentation. That's why we don't have expireds here, right? We haven't had a whole lot of expireds in my area, some. That diffuses the entire situation. Like now, again, you're on the same page and you can lead them forward to a successful sale.
For me, this has turned into our old Christmas script. Like, hey, because in the holidays, I try to November and December to take as many listings as possible that are not going to hit until spring. Because I want to have a whole bunch of listings to go in the beginning of the year. That's how my year sets up, right? So the COVID now, you don't want to go on, that's fine. Why would you want to wait and go on when everybody else goes on when it's lifted? Let me get your marketing going now. Let's put things in place for you so you're going to be ahead of that curve. And we don't know when it's going to be, but I can tell you right now, if, the market right now, it's busy. We need to price it, have it in condition to go on. If you absolutely won't go on, let me try to sell it virtually. But if not, I'm going to take a longer term listing so we're ready to hit the market when our, when this lifts and makes everybody more comfortable. My goal is to go in when COVID comes out with a pile of listings.
Biggest mistake that you see as being made right now on these virtual presentations, or that you've personally made that you've corrected?
For me, the biggest mistake I see being made is a lot of people think that everyone's fearful of what's going on in frozen, and not everybody's frozen. So, don't think that, don't assume that, oh my God, I couldn't ask them if they want to sell because of COVID, because some people have to sell and they're going to sell later. So don't be afraid to ask and have that discussion.
Awesome. Eileen?
I can't say that I've made any big mistakes because it was really transitioning a good presentation onto digital and just adjusting to that. I think perhaps mindset wise, the mistake that I made, and I think a lot of people have, is, oh, this isn't going to work. Oh, these sellers aren't going to like it. Oh, they're going to resist. And the fact is they're not. They're as delighted as we are that they can progress and feel like in a time of uncertainty, there's something they can do.
Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. Hopefully you found this valuable, something that you can turn to and watch over and over again to be able to serve more customers in this environment. So as I wrap, give me some comments below. Let me know what you think, and then let me know what other trainings you would find valuable. What else do you want from the Tom Ferry Show? As always, remember your strategy matters, and now more than ever, right? Your passion absolutely rules. See you soon.